assembly goes down in there and that goes on there like that.
And the whole thing's sitting out in the air.
Yep.
Amazing.
The fairing's not here actually, the fairing way up the top of the hill at mate's place and that. But no, I drove, even the wee one was like this. I had, like I say, I drove that like that. I had this brake at Auckland on me at one stage because that's a shortened Mini.
Yep.
And I had that brake at Auckland. That was about anything. And I don't know how many batteries I've destroyed because they went there. And when this goes, it
just takes everything.
Just takes the battery with it. There's nothing unusual to come back and find you've got no battery, and when it stops, it doesn't go again.
So what sort of speed are we talking about, mate?
150 mile an hour. Two up. Barbara and I went out just as we were going to race at Wigram, at Ruapuna. We went out to a flying quarter and a flying half mile out of Christchurch there one day, and we had just started gearing for the track on it, and we did 128 mile an hour.
That's honking.
Eh?
That's honking. Very close to the ground.
Well, the thing was, I had to throttle off going one way because it blew so hard. One of the other boys didn't, and he did 156 mile an hour one way and 120 something the other way. But because I was governed because I had the gearing just low enough for the track. He was going to change his over for the next day, which I didn't bother. I didn't have the time to do it, so I didn't bother. So we went out to this bloody thing, and we just ran it as it was. Headwind, we had to throttle off with the tailwind because she would have just blown up.
Okay.
And that gumboot, tie happy, gumboot TT.
The gumboot TT.
Gumboot Grand Prix it was. Well, that's that same sidecar that's over there that I showed you before in its earliest life, and this is its brother. I built two at the same time. The difference was this one was 2 inches shorter than that, no other difference. You might be familiar with this young lady.
Who's that?
Michelle Acourt. Yeah, well, she's on my sidecar.
Oh, right.
It was at Ruapuna. The girl that came over for the big fundraiser they had years ago in Christchurch. She came over from America, and she was going to ride on the side. She wanted to ride on the sidecar, and because it wasn't painted, the boys objected. And they wouldn't, and she said, well, if I can't ride on it, I'm not going to bloody ride on anyone. Anyway, the guy from the local sports paper in Christchurch came to me and he said, what's happening? He was all ready to take photographs that were on it and everything else. And I told him the story. He said, well, bugger that. He said, I'll get somebody else. And he went away and got Michelle. She was with What Now at that time, the kids program. And so she came on and got on the sidecar with me. So he says, you wait till tomorrow morning when the Sunday paper comes out this afternoon, he says, you'll be on the front page, they won't. And that was the end of it. Yeah. It was too. And then, well, this is the same one that we took to Bathurst, but this is the boys built the fairing. I built the sidecar.
So where does your ass fit in this arrangement?
In there.
And your knees?
Your kneel in it, just the same. Everything. Yep. Well, they had a bloody rough sidecar, and it had a Suzuki motor in it, and they came to me, and the one that they had, and they said, would I build a late model sidecar for them? And I said, yeah, and I got talked into it anyway. So I built it, and it looks very complicated, but this was when I changed the motor from the Suzuki that was in it originally to a Yamaha, which is when we put this motor in it. This motor had only done about 90 miles when the guy crashed it. It crashed into the bridge going into Palmerston North.
Is that 4 cylinders across?
Yep.
Jesus.
Yep.
Look at the sidecar person hanging on the back there.
Yep. That's the same sidecar, but it was when Hayes and Eastwood and Wanganui were their sponsors. They did get sponsors, these boys, but they went very well. They won the championship twice. New Zealand Championship. That's the pair of them there. Louis Christian, LCR, they call these ones. They're made in Switzerland, by a little man in Switzerland. And see, that's how your chain drives, like my one does.
Sure.
Now, everything that's on this sidecar here, which was built in 1980, is on the latest one of these, built in Switzerland.
Shit.
Because I've seen the 2011 models.
So this is totally your idea here?
Yeah.
Yeah, good on you.
And I'll tell you a little funny little story. A man came in here one day, seen that thing down there, see, and he came in here and he told me he's a school teacher at Murchison down the road. And I said, what do you teach? He said, well, I've got the kids, the senior students, boys and girls, building little motorbikes. I said, oh, right. So we had a long yarn and everything else. And he goes back and he called in here about a month, 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, probably it was now. And he'd just come back from Manfield. And he said, we've been up to Manfield and took our bikes up to Manfield. And he says, and you go to be able to race them, because they race them. And to be able to race them, they've got to have a machine examination. And he said, and we go round for the machine examination. I said, yes, and there's all the old buggers that have been around for years, because we all go around and we watch to see what's new, you know. And he said, yes, they were all there. And they stood there with their arms folded like this, and they looked at us, a couple of them, and they said, you've seen Haley. And he just burst out laughing. Well, they've seen all this bloody nonsense when I've turned up, because every time I turn up there's a bloody audience, because they've never seen anything like it, because I don't care. Convention doesn't mean nothing. No, I laugh, and he hasn't brought me the photographs back yet, but he said no. So they did a machine examination. They had a great day out, the kid. But it's the last year at their bloody secondary school, they bloody were building these little bikes.
Yeah, so Kiwi ingenuity's alive and well in this shed, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Can we have a look at your little thing in the front door?
Yeah.
See how the arms are swinging on down there, see that?
No, they just... That's what they call duplex steering. It's only got about 1.5 inches of movement, everything else, but the tank, that's the tank, that's the frame. And
these...
Yeah, they just do the things in there, that's it.
And these way down low.
Yeah, but that's I built it really because nobody could understand the steering. And everybody said about it, you know, but the beauty of that steering is that unlike the present day forks and that, is that the bottom of the forks are anchored.
So they are.
It looks funny to people, but it was bloody beautiful to ride and steer, really. There's 2 fuel pumps normally, one there and there's another one goes on there because it links to the tank. So it had one in each, and they had a little 2-stroke motor in it, 125 motor out of a motocrosser in it. That's I borrowed off a guy, and unfortunately he came back and decided he wanted it one day, so he gave it back to him and haven't been able to get another one since.
I've got to bring up Bert Munro with his little frame that he made. Was that just to keep the aerodynamics going?
Yep. Well, that's what I was after too. That's why they're so short, they're why so low, that, you know, there's no height at all. No good having been away up here if you're going to if you can't bloody well. It's the size of the frontal area that's the thing, as far as bikes are concerned. Take it off. Yeah.
That's the...
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
That's why you build a motorbike. That's the way I build motorbikes. Now all I've got to do is get off it without falling off it.
Mo, I've been looking at trucks for the last 2 years and I'm absolutely fascinated with the world of what you've just told us about motorbikes, and how they sort of fit together and how you make them fit together. And
Well, that's part of fun.
exactly. And Kiwi ingenuity is absolutely alive in this shed, and I'm absolutely proud of you for it.
That's all right.
So thanks very much for your time, and
That's no trouble at all.
Absolutely brilliant.
No.
There you go, folks. Mo Haley, legend.